Alright everybody, today we're going over how to run a two-way ANOVA analysis on a third-party data analysis application called Stat+. Basically, this is a good option to use if your version of Excel doesn't include a data analysis tool pack. For example, if you have Microsoft Office 2011 for Mac, which I have, then this is the best option to run ANOVA or regression analyses. And so first we're going to be doing the ANOVA in this video, and right here we've got a set of data that includes 14 participants that have all completed 4 different body composition tests. And the kind of tricky thing to learn about Stat+ is that it doesn't accept data really this way. It's hard to enter it in this way, and so how we need to approach this is by first rearranging the data into a way that it will be easier to enter into Stat+. And that is by putting it into 3 different columns. The first column is going to be your participant. So you have 14 different participants. We then have our group or our test, our four different categories we have here. Ours are 4 different body composition tests. And then finally the third column is our variable or our response, which in this case is percent body fat. And that's what all these numbers are here. And so because we have 4 different numbers in percent body fat for each of the 14 participants, each of those needs its own row. And so basically the way that's going to look is you're going to have 4 different rows for each participant. Okay? So just like I did here, you're going to have 4 rows for participant 1, 4 rows for participant 2, and all the way down through 14. Then as far as test goes, since we have 4 different tests, each test is assigned a number. BOD-POD is test 1, arm bioelectrical impedance analysis is test 2, leg BIA is test 3, and then skin fold is test 4. And since each participant has 1 value for each of the tests, then participant 1 is going to have a value for test 1, test 2, test 3, and test 4, and then you're going to repeat that for each of the 14 participants. However, rather than typing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way down, what you may want to do is after you get a couple of them in, go ahead and copy and then paste. That way you can get down through the 14 participants a little bit quicker. And the more you do, the more it will build up, where it becomes a little bit easier to get all the way down without having to type a bunch. And so finally, perhaps the most tricky part is the percent body fat. Rather than doing what can be very time consuming and typing in each individual number, what I've found to be the easiest is to select one row at a time over here and copy it. Those are the 4 different percent body fats for participant 1. You're going to come back over here where you want it to go. You're going to right click, and instead of selecting paste, you're going to select paste special. That will allow you to, down in the bottom right corner here, to select a box called transpose. What that's going to do is take the data and flip it from horizontal to vertical when it pastes it. And then just do that for each of the 14 participants all the way down. To save some time, I've already done that in a new tab, and we've got all 14 participants here with the 4 tests and the percent body fat. Then all you need to do at that point is to select all of that data. You're going to copy it and then open up a new tab in Stat+, a new page in Stat+, and paste the brand new transpose data into Stat+. Now that we have that, it's all downhill from here. The first thing you're going to do is go up into this box that says ANOVA. You're going to click there, and with the standard version of ANOVA, you get 2 options. One-way ANOVA is not applicable here, and you probably won't use it a whole lot because that's when you only have one group or one variable. In this case, we have 4 different tests, so you're going to be doing 2-way ANOVA, which is anytime you have 2 or more. You're going to select that, and then as you see here, we have 3 different areas to enter data, just as we have 3 columns. The response, which is another word for the variable, is the percent body fat. So you're going to select all of that data here down through participant 14. Then factor number 1 is actually your participant. And so you're going to select that. As you noticed here, I included the titles in these selections that I'm making, and you don't necessarily have to do that, but I'll show you in a second why I like to, and if you don't, how you can still make your results be the same. And then of course factor number 2 is your second column, which is your test or your group. Make sure the data looks the way it should here, and then your labels in the first row is really the only box you have to worry about. Most of the other settings will stay the same. Since I included the labels for each row, I'm going to keep that box selected. If you did not, if you just started with your numbers, then go ahead and unselect that box so it doesn't mess with your results. Once you've done that, click OK. It'll take a moment to generate, but once it does, you're going to have a brand new tab with all of the results from your ANOVA. Most of this page won't mean anything to you, but all I want you to do is just scan down a little bit, just scroll a little bit down past the participants and the test here, and then you're going to see block letters that say ANOVA. In that section, it will show you that the test, which is basically what we're testing here, is if there's a significant difference between the 4 tests, BOD, POD, the 2 different BIAs, and Skinfold. You're going to look over here at the p-value, which shows the significance, and since this is not significant, anything greater than 0.05 is not significant. This isn't a non-significant number. This tells you that there is not a significant difference in the data, which means the tests are likely very similar and can be interchanged with each other. So you're going to copy that, what I like to do, and then go back to the original set of data you had and enter that in here. You can later use that value to report that you had no significant difference among this data here. And that's how you run a two-way ANOVA analysis with StatPlus.